This call is now being recorded.
Okay, let's start our session. Yeah. So in the previous session, we are like having a deep understanding about the data types, right? So we have understood about strings, and we have moved to lists after that. Yeah, lists also we have done some examples, and yeah, the slicing part, indexing part are the methods. So there's so many methods present inside list as well, in a list as well in Python. So we have seen some of the methods, and yeah, so inside the PPT, what are the methods are there? Just practice it out, guys. So those methods are very useful. Not every time we'll use all the methods, but yeah. So most of the times, we use the methods. So understanding about the methods is very important. Okay. So like don't by heart the names of the methods and all. Just understand the concepts. Like when you come across that kind of situation in the project, no, then you'll understand that yeah. So I've seen this method somewhere. I can use this method kind of. You need to have that understanding, not like by hearting the things and using it. Like whenever there is necessity only, then only try to use those methods. Okay. So let us move on to our other data type, that is tuples. So the tuples are called as immutable objects. We have already seen it, but we'll have a better understanding now. Like we'll move into tuples and dictionaries, and then we'll see how the methods are being applied in tuples or in the dictionaries as well. So ignore the slides. Again, I'm telling you, ignore the slides which have loops or functions. So later on you can do it. The remaining everything you can work on. Yeah. So introducing Python, tuples. Yeah. So a tuple is another sequence data type that is similar to the list. Yeah. So in our first data types session, we have seen these tuples as well. So in order to create any tuple, we use this syntax. We use this parenthesis, right? In the same way, how you assign elements inside a list, you use the same method. You use the same method to assign a tuple in Python. So if I print the statement out, uh, I'll use one more cell. Yeah. So the cell, I guess it got corrupted or something. Yeah. I'll use this. And yeah, if I run it, see you. So the tuple, you can create a tuple by using parenthesis symbol, and inside the parenthesis, whatever the items you want to give, like to store inside a tuple, whether it might be a numerical or it might be a string, the same thing. That's why I have given this statement in the PPT. A tuple is another sequence data type that is similar to the list. Yeah, that is similar to the list. But what is the major
Sir, your
difference?
voice is breaking, sir.
Okay, so is
And also
everyone facing?
speak louder, sir. We are not getting too much voice.
Okay, is everyone facing the same issue or how?
I think almost facing. Everyone is facing, I think.
Okay, yeah, is my voice audible now?
Ah, yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So yeah, okay, clear. I'll be talking like this. Okay, okay. So what I was saying is like the tuple is almost similar to the data type list. Still, people are joining. Okay. So almost similar to the data type list. So inside the list now, we create list by using square brackets. While coming to tuples now, we use parenthesis to create a tuple. But we have already seen the difference between a tuple and a list. So previously we have assigned values to a list, like updated the values inside a list that was happening. But if you want to update the values inside a tuple by using the index position, suppose if I want to update the value 1 with a string, so I'll take the index position of 1, that is 0. And if I want to update it with a string, Naveen, it will not, yeah. If I run it, see, there's an error here. Tuple object does not support item assignment, right? So yeah, so in the list now you can update the items based upon the index. Here you can't update the elements actually. So that's why tuples are called as immutable objects. This thing the people will ask, so ask in the interview why uh, tuples are called as immutable objects, or tell me the basic difference between the lists and tuples. At that time now you need to mention this, like lists are mutable objects and tuples are immutable objects in Python. Yeah. So a tuple consists of a number of values separated by commas. Same thing. In the list, while creating the items, while including the items inside a list, you have used comma to separate the items actually. In the same way, in tuple, it consists of number of values separated by commas. Same thing. Tuples are enclosed with parentheses. That is the parentheses, the brackets, and cannot be updated. Yeah. So that's why these are called as immutable objects. Lists are enclosed in brackets, and their elements and size can be changed. Yeah. So that means, yeah, lists are called as mutable objects. Okay. Tuples can be thought of as read-only lists. What do you mean by this? Read-only. So PDF is a read-only document, right? That means where you can't edit the PDF. You can't edit it. That's why PDF is called as read-only. In the same way, tuples, you can't update the elements. You can't edit the uh, elements, right? So that's why tuples are called as read-only lists. Okay, why tuples already lists are there? Why you want to go to tuples? See, sometimes you'll face situations in such a way where you fix the values. You fix the values, like you need to fix the values. You should not change it at that time. Now, definitely you'll go with tuples only. So tuple will hold the values which are need to be fixed. And lists, if you want to change the values dynamically, you go with lists. So according to the requirement, you need to choose which data type I need. Okay. Once the tuple is created, you cannot add new elements, replace elements, or reorder the elements in the tuple. Yeah, that's why these are called as read-only lists, right? So you cannot update it. Like once the tuple is created, you cannot add new elements. Like you can't append new elements to it. You can't replace elements or reorder the elements inside the tuple. Yeah, tuple or tuples are more efficient than lists due to Python's implementation. Yeah, it's up to you guys. Like, yeah, lists are also very important and tuples are also very important. But yeah, according to the requirement and all, you need to choose which data type you need to use. Okay. Yeah. So here I have given so many examples of tuples. Like how to create a tuple and how to identify the length. Okay, we'll see one by one example. Like the first example is tuple one, where you have taken parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, I have given three strings: the green, red, and blue. So that's how you can create a tuple. That is one way. The other way is use tuple, the keyword tuple, and followed by parenthesis. And inside the parenthesis, use the square brackets where create a tuple from a list. That's how you create a tuple from a list as well. We'll see this example. Okay. Yeah. So clearly, yeah. So after using the keyword tuple, started the parenthesis, and what are the elements I want to include inside a tuple, I'll be placing that in the form of a list, because this syntax works when you add tuple keyword to our instruction. And in this way also you can create tuples. Okay, like two ways we have seen. The first way is by using parenthesis, and the other way is by using tuple keyword. Good. And in order to identify like how many elements are present inside a tuple, like how many items are there, the same thing, like for identifying the number of items present inside a list, we have used the keyword, I mean we have used the method len. In the same way, what happens if I use len keyword, I mean len method? Okay, so it gives me how many elements, like three elements are present inside a tuple. Yeah. So in the same way, the other method called maximum max of a gives you the maximum that thing, yeah, the number inside a tuple of, out of all the numbers inside a tuple which we have saved it inside a variable, we will get the maximum value out of all it, out of all. Like the maximum of 789 is 9. What happens if you give a string here? Same thing, like previously we have seen it. Yeah, what happens if we give a string here? Okay, I'll go with max of a, no, see, greater than, yeah, so greater than, not supported between instances of string and int. Yeah. So Rajesh is a string, so it doesn't have any value. It's just a text actually. So if you use max there, so obviously Python can't judge whether Rajesh is greater than 9, 8, and 7, since it's a string. That way it throws you that error. So remember guys, like whenever you are playing with these kind of methods, like understand like what method is suited for what data type and all. In that way, na, consider that and use the data types efficiently. I mean, use the methods efficiently. Okay. Yeah. So in the same way, you can use minimum function as well. So I'll remove this string. We don't want the string. Okay. If I use max of a, again we are back with the value 9. If I use minimum of a, and yeah, so you'll get the minimum value out of the uh, elements present inside the tuple. Yeah. So here I have given that example. Uh, yeah, and sum also, like if you use the sum value automatically, it adds up all the elements present inside the tuple and it gives you the output, like 7 plus 8 plus 9. The answer is 24. So directly it throws you the output there. Yeah. And first element, yeah, in order to access the elements, through indexing and all, same thing, same concept. Whatever the concepts we are using for list, for indexing, it starts with 0. We can access that element. Like if I keep a of 0 here, so it gives me the first element, that is 7. Yeah. So that thing I have clearly mentioned in the PPT. Yeah. Like go through it. And yeah, 2 into tuple 3, what happens, like okay, here we have taken tuple 1 and tuple 2, the two items here. This is tuple 1 and this is tuple 2, right? We'll consider like we will consider a tuple with strings and we'll consider tuple with numbers only. Let us do that first. I'll just b is equals to Hyse data science AI. Yeah. So we'll consider these two tuples. What happens if we concatenate two tuples? Let us see. Like I'll consider a new variable and I'll add up those two tuples and I'll save that value inside a new variable called C and I'll print out the C. Okay, see. So it's the concatenation, the same thing. Whatever happened for the list and all, the same functionality is happening here. So while concatenating the things, so it combines two tuples. Here we are talking about tuples. That's why it combines two tuples and it gives you the end result. Okay, and that is stored inside the value C. Okay. Yeah. So tuple 1 plus tuple 2, print tuple 3 is tuple 3, the C value. Here I have given tuple 3, where there we have used C. And what happens if you multiply with a number, the output, like the print C, instead of C, I'll use C into 3. See? So the same thing is repeated thrice. So how many times you give, the repetition, this is called as repetition operator, the asterisk symbol. So how many times you give the number, whatever how many times you want the repetition to occur, that number you give it after the asterisk symbol, automatically it repeats up and it gives you the respective output. Good. Yeah. So ignore this for loop. Yeah, ignore this for loop and yeah, we'll look into yeah. So for now, you can ignore that for loop. Okay. So you'll get confused. Okay. So this thing, I have given one more example here. This is used to identify the length and all. So converting list to a tuple. So you can convert. We'll see the typecasting later, but not now. After completion of dictionaries, now I'll tell you about typecasting and loop. Yeah, ignore this loop. And yeah, here other examples are to just go through these guys, like what happens if you use maximum, minimum, and CMP method and all. It's very easy only. Just have a look. Like consider that as a homework and do it. Yeah. So whatever the statements here I'm showing you in the PPT, everything you need to complete as a homework. Try to print out everything and understand as much as possible from the PPT. Yeah. And okay, so here I have used the Python 2.7 syntax. That's why after the print statement, you don't have parentheses actually. So wherever you see the print statement, without having parentheses and all, try to apply the parentheses there. Okay. Yeah, don't forget that. Like in any when you print statement, if you are not finding the parenthesis and all, use the parenthesis. Okay. Yeah. So print a tuple of 0, everything like the statement, what is the output. I have given it here. Like go through it, guys. Each and every statement is very important because yeah. So if you practice this now, you'll understand the core concept of data types. Remember that. Okay. Okay. And here again, I have given the same lines actually. You go through it and yeah. So let's converting between lists and tuples. Yeah. So we'll look into that typecasting now. So because it is coming up everywhere, right? We'll look into the typecasting and then we'll proceed further. So hashtag the concept is typecasting. Okay. Yeah. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by this typecasting? You'll come across this typecasting in everywhere. In any programming language, you come across this. Have you heard? Anyone heard about
Changing
typecasting?
one data type to
Changing
other
one
data
data type
type.
to another data type.
Perfect. Yeah. So we change, we convert from one data type to other data typecasting, right? So the typecasting is very important actually because you need to like not only for machine learning or anything, you need to have the right format of data, right, to do some operations on it. So if you don't have the right format of data, I mean the data type, the exact data type, then it would be very the operations what you're doing no will not be that effective. So in order to make sure the operations are very effective, we typecast the data, like we convert from one data type to other data type. Okay. Before entering into this typecasting and all, I would like to discuss on input keyword. Input. Okay. So input is something where user can give the input at the console itself. That means in the C language, we have seen the scanf. If you remember scanf, what it does is at the running point, it asks you like give a number. So manually, we are supposed to give the number, and automatically that number will be taken inside the program, and it executes the operations by taking that number. Right? We'll see. Like we'll consider two numbers. Like manually, I'll be giving it, and I'll try to add up those numbers. First, we'll see what happens without typecasting. What happens, we will see, and after typecasting, what happens, we'll see. Okay. Yeah. That means we need to exactly understand the operation and typecast it. Okay. I'll consider two variables now. A and B. Yeah. Please mute. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Everyone, please be on mute. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So A equals to I'll type input, and yeah. So since we are our main aim is to add two numbers. So first I'll write a statement, enter the number 1. Okay. Yeah. I'll take. Okay. First we'll execute this. Print A. Okay. Yeah. See, enter the number 1. It is asking me to enter the number 1. Okay. I'll type 5. See, it has printed the A value now. A as 5. So whatever the value you give it, so we will be confused actually. Enter the number 1 has I mean it is showing us as 15. So I'll enter the first number. I'll take that out. Yeah, it's good. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we need to use the same quotations. Yeah, type 5. Yeah, yeah. Now it's very clear. So for the first number, if you want to give manually the input and all to the Python, you use this keyword input. Okay, input. Use this keyword, and yeah. So if I want another number, and the second number, yeah. So I'll remove this print here, and yeah. So now I'll take another variable c is equals to a plus b. That means we need to add up two numbers, right? What happens if you don't do the typecasting and all? Let us see first. Yeah, I'll use print c here. If I yeah run it, it's asking me like first enter the first number. Yeah, I'll go with 10, and then followed by second number. I'll go with 25. Yeah, the outputs is supposed to be the as 35, right? But See, it combines the 10 and 25 and it's giving us the output. That means for the input, whatever the input you are giving, so it is considering that as a string concatenation is done here, not the addition of two numbers, right? So in this case, no, definitely we need to do typecasting. That means we need to mention to the machine that we need addition program, not the string concatenation. So for that, I'll typecast the things. That means I'll convert the string value into integer now. Okay. So in order to convert anything from one data type to other data type, these are the keywords, guys. Remember, int is used to convert anything into integers. Str is used to convert anything into str strings. List is used to convert
Excuse
anything
me,
into
sir.
list. Sorry.
Sir, once can you repeat, sir? Your
Yeah.
voice
Okay.
was so low.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Is this audible now?
Yes,
It's
sir.
clear, right? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What I'm trying to tell is, guys, see, so the input initially it takes the value of 10 and it considers that as a string, because that is a syntax in Python actually. So what's happening here is the string concatenation is done here. So the value, the first number we have given as 10, the second number we have given as 25. So if you add up the numbers, now automatically it gives you the answer in the string concatenation format. But we don't want that, right? So our main motto is to add up two numbers. So we need to convert now. Like we need to tell machine that the number what we have given is not a string. So consider that as a integer value and then add up the things. Okay, for that, na, Python has certain keywords where you can typecast your uh, you typecast your data, like from one data type to other data type, you can typecast it. So those keywords, na, int is used to convert anything into integer. Str is used to convert anything into strings. List is used to convert anything into lists. In the same way, tuple for tuple and dictionary for dict. Okay, first we'll look into these three, and then and later on, in the later on classes, we'll look into the tuple as well as dictionaries as well. Okay, let us consider this. So now what's happening here is uh, the a value what we have got is a string. So now I need to typecast it. I need to convert that into the integer. So in order to convert that into an integer, what I will do is I'll go to the a value. So once everything is done, I'll simply place int keyword in front of a, like this, and same thing followed to b. I'll use int keyword in front of b. Now what's happening is the strings, whatever the values you are giving, that is taking in the format of a string, is converted into integer by using this int keyword. And this process is called as typecasting. Okay, now if I, yeah, so if I run it, let us say I have taken 10 and I have taken 25, and see, now the output is 35. That means we have converted the strings into integers by using int keyword here. Yeah. So in the same way, if you want to convert like a string into a list or something, I'll show you. Yeah, I'll take a new cell, not required. Yeah, consider a string which has list values present inside it. So whenever you give two quotations, no, automatically that's a string actually. Yeah, let me check the method to identify the data type. Forgotten the method name. Let me check one. So if I use type, okay, yeah. So you can clearly see, right? So type is a keyword. Now the method, it is also a method. It is used to identify which data type it is. Okay, since it's a string, I want to convert that into what do we call, like into a list. So how to do it? So first we'll print the statement out before conversion, before conversion, and then if I place a comma here. So before conversion, what is the data type? Okay, is, yeah. So if I print the if I execute this output, yeah, you can clearly see, right? Before conversion, the data type for A is class string. That means str is the data type for A. Now I'll convert that into a list and then let's see what happens. Okay, for converting that into a list, I'll take a variable B. I'll store it inside this variable. So list of A. Okay. So now after conversion, what is the data type? We'll look into it. So I'll copy the above statement. So I'll replace the text with after conversion type of B, since we have uh, stored the value, whatever the list of A inside the B. Yeah, can you see this clearly? So initially it was string, and after conversion by using this list keyword, it's been converted to list directly. So after conversion, the data type is now a list. Before conversion, the data type of A is string. Yeah, the data type of A. Yeah. Yeah, in the same way, converting between lists and tuples. So you can use tuple keyword. Try that as a homework. You'll understand how the typecasting is done. Like take a list and convert that into tuple. Like take one example of any list. Like take a list, include some items inside the list, and use the keyword tuple and store it inside another variable and try to print it out. You'll understand that like how the typecasting is done between data types and all. Okay, try that as a homework. Yeah. And yeah, so that's it for tuples. So there are very less slides for tuples since these are fixed values, so we can't change anything or include some operations in it. So that's why there are less number of slides for it. So understand the core concept, guys, and then yeah, you'll be good enough to deal with the data types in Python. Okay, the next data type which yeah, the next data type is Python dictionary. So we are moving into dictionaries now. Remember, so we have completed strings, numericals, or those doesn't have like only the numbers and all are very easy. So strings we have seen the indexing part, slicing part, and the methods part. And after that we have seen lists, the lists also indexing, slicing, and methods part. Like we understood how the methods work in lists and all, and in tuples. And after that we have seen typecasting. Yeah, so to convert from one data type to other data type, so it's very easy in Python. You simply use the keyword to convert to any data type you want. Simply use that keyword. Like if you want to convert anything into a list, use list keyword. Yeah. So we'll look into Python dictionaries now. Yeah, so a dictionary is an object that stores a collection of data. Each element in a dictionary has two parts, a key and a value. You use a key to locate the specific value. Yeah, we have already seen this. Yeah, in order to create a dictionary, I'll take A only. So I'm overwriting the data. That's it. I'll take A and I'll start my flower brackets. I'll start the flower brackets. So if you're giving the flower brackets there, and if you're providing the key value pairs to it, okay, key value pairs might be anything like name, Rajesh, okay, platform, Python, so organization, Hyse. Clear? Yeah, that's how you create key value pairs in Python. Yeah, so this is a dictionary now. So for creating any dictionary, we start with flower brackets, and then we go with any key and value. So in order to access the value, we use the key to access it. So in previous data types, now what happens is you access the elements based upon the index. Like by calling the index, you're getting the values. But here you need to call the keys to get the value. Like how do you call the key? I'll save it. And yeah, if I go here, A of name. So previously for the indexing and all, square bracket 0 1 we used to give it, but here we need to give the key name. Yeah, so the name Rajesh value is assigned to the key name. So if I access the key, automatically I'll get the value. So that's how dictionaries work. So that is mentioned here. A dictionary is an object that stores a collection of data. Yeah, that's a collection of data. Each element in a dictionary has two parts, a key and a value. You use a key to locate the specific value. For example, if you want to understand which platform in our dictionaries are, so I'll copy and paste that key name platform and see the Python. Python is the value that is mapped with the key platform. Good. In Python, a dictionary is an object that stores a collection of data. Yeah. Python dictionaries are kind of hash table type. Okay. So hash table type in the sense, like consider Excel. Inside the Excel, now you have columns and rows, right? On the columns, you view the column names, and in the rows, now everything. The for suppose name, consider one column with the heading called name. So down to the name, you just write down all the students' name who are attending this Python sessions. Like there will be like 30 to 40 students which we can mention it directly inside that column, right? So that's kind of a table there. So same thing in the dictionaries now, it works in the same way. So for name now, you can create a list, like I'll show you one example so that you'll understand. So for the name, I'll like use the names here. So name is a column, and yeah, so inside the list I'll just write down all the names of the students like this. Okay, that means these are the row values. So that's how a hash table is, right? I mean the table, the rows and columns and all. So execute this. Sorry, valid syntax. Okay, sorry, I've used quotation here. I need to use quotation inside the bracket. Yeah. So if I call the column names, it throws me the all the names present inside that column. These are the row values. So what in this PPT I have mentioned is Python dictionaries are kind of hash table type. That means mostly those are of like a table only. Okay.
Sir,
In
once can you repeat, sir, that one?
okay,
Key
I'll tell you.
name. Key
Yeah,
name
yeah.
one.
Uh, See, consider this Excel. So what I will do is, okay. See, if I use names, yeah, Rajesh, Manish, right? Okay. So here subject, math, science, social. Okay. And marks out of 100, like 90, 50, 80. Yeah. So this is a table, right? So we have adjusted our data in the form of a table. The same thing goes with dictionaries, guys. So dictionaries, for example, names, consider name as a key, names as a key, and Rajesh, Naveen, and Manish are the values present inside that key names. Okay, so inside a list you can do it. That means whenever you call the names, automatically these names will be called upon, right? All the names which are present inside a list will be called upon. In the same way, if you go with subject, what are the subjects involved, inside that row values, whatever are there inside that column, we get those values. In the same way goes with the marks. Did you get it now? So if you see it visually, you'll understand it, right? Yeah, are we clear, or still you're having any doubts on this?
Sir, key name, sir. As we clicked, we wrote a platform. Why do the output came as Python? That one.
That's what dictionaries is, no? Like dictionaries, the syntax is designed in such a way actually. So when you call up the key, na, the key, the platform is the Python. The Python keyword is mapped with this platform key actually. So that's how the syntax is defined. So whenever you need to access the values, and definitely you need to call the key here. It's like the same thing. So in the list now, why you are going with indexing and all, because they have designed that in such a way, right, in an array or something. So whatever the syntax of Python is there, we are trying to habituate that, and we are using it. That's it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So suppose, for example, if I want only the keys, like all the keys, I want to see like how many keys are present inside the dictionary. I'll use a dot keys method. Okay, if I run it, see, we have all the keys. So if you want to convert this into a list, simply use the list keyword here. Yeah, see. So based upon your format, what type of format you want, then typecast that in such a way so that see, this format is very useful for us because we can access the keys now. Like if I use of 0, so it gives me the first element. The same thing again, we have converted the entire keys into lists, and we can play with the keys now. It's up to us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So the in the same way, if you want the only the values, just type values here. See, we got only the values now. So again, it has converted into a list, and you can again access the elements present inside the list with the index. Okay. If you don't want to like access with the keys, then convert that into a list and then use it. If yeah, so since the key value pairs are very important, guys, see, because in today's world, each and every data communication is done in this key value pairs only. Okay. And those communication, people are doing it in the form of APIs, application programming interfaces. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so your homework is like understand what is an API, like read about it, understand about it for tomorrow. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, so each element that is stored in a dictionary has two parts, a key and a value. See, the syntax is like that, guys. A key and a value is stored, that's why it is called a dictionary. You need to store the key and value pairs. They work like SSA to erase or hashes found in Perl and consist of key value pairs. Yeah, Perl is a language. Yeah, since you guys don't know, ignore this statement. And yeah, so it is same, like it has only key value pairs. Okay, a dictionary key can be almost any Python type, but are usually numbers or strings. Yeah, so you can, the keys whatever you're mentioning now, it can be any data type, but usually we have only numbers or strings to it because only one key is used for validation, right? So for that sake, you can use number or a string. Values, on other hand, can be any arbitrary Python object, anything. Like values, you can place lists inside your dictionary, or tuples inside your dictionary, or dictionary inside a dictionary. You can play with it. Okay, dictionaries are enclosed by curly brackets. Yeah, and values can be assigned and accessed using square braces. Yeah, so the same thing which we have seen it here, right? Like we have created a dictionary, and in order to access an item inside the dictionary, we use a of names. Like we will call the key and we'll get the value. Good. Key value pairs are often referred to as mappings because each key is mapped to a value. That's what I'm talking about. Each key is mapped to a value. The values, whatever are there, are definitely get attached to the key. So in order to call that value, we need to access the key first. Like we need to call the key in order to access that value. Sorry. Yeah, you can do that. Python dictionaries are similar to lists in that they are mutable and can be nested to any arbitrary depth. Yeah, so same thing, like Python dictionaries are similar to lists. Like you can update the dictionaries, and all. Like you can append values inside a dictionary and all. Like how to append we'll see now. So I'll take a fresh dictionary. I'll take 0 now as a key, and for this we'll just write down the names. 0 we have Rajesh, 1 we have Naveen. Yeah, so this is a dictionary now. If I print A, automatically a dictionary is printed. If you want to add new items into the dictionary, okay, in order to add new items into the dictionary, first start with the dictionary variable and followed by square brackets, and then inside the square brackets mention a key. Like 0 is a key, it is done. 1 is a key, it is done. And 2, if you want, you mention a key to it and equal to, and add a value to it. So if you print A, okay, so print A, like before appending items. Okay, so after appending items, what happens to that A? Let's see. After appending items, see, if I run it, see, this is our whole dictionary. We have appended one value, the key is 2 and the value is Manish here. So automatically, see, we can clearly see here, right? The 2 and the Manish have been attached with each other, and it is included inside the dictionary. Like if you want to overwrite a value, like 2, I don't want Manish, I want to change it. Simply you give the key value key here, and then change the Manish to something else like Sandeep or something. Okay, I need to print. See, now the Manish has been updated with Sandeep. That means dictionaries are mutable objects. That means you can update the elements inside the list, or you can add up the elements inside the list, and so on. Whatever the list operations you are doing it now, you can perform those operations. Okay, a dictionary can contain any type of Python object, including other dictionaries. Yeah, so we can create a dictionary inside a dictionaries as well. So how we can do it? For example, is equals, I start the curly brackets. I'll take the key as 0. I'll take the key as 0, and then I'll start the curly brackets again. See here, I'll what I'll do is I'll use name as Rajesh. That means to the key 0, I have attached a dictionary now, not a list. Yeah, and then followed by 1 as Naveen. Okay, so if you access, yeah, so we'll print this A. Yeah, see, as we can see, the key value 0 has a dictionary attached to it, and to that dictionary, if you access again, to the key name, Rajesh is attached to that name, right? So if I access 0, see, I've accessed my dictionary again, and out of that 0 also, if I want to access name, A of 0 I'm done, and now I'll use the key name. That's how I can access Rajesh. So these are called as dictionaries inside a dictionary. Okay, you can use like n number of dictionaries. How many you want, you can use. The keys in a given dictionary do not need to be the same type as one another, nor do the values. Yeah. So not need to be the same type. Like if you're giving the key as a number, first key, and a second, no need, like second key doesn't need to be a number. You can give a string. That's up to you. Okay. Dictionary elements are accessed by key. Unlike with list indexing, the order of the items is the dictionary plays no role in how the items are accessed. Yeah. So there is no particular role, like how the how in the order doesn't play a role here. So you can call the values by using the keys directly. Okay. So dictionaries and lists share the following characteristics. So it's a basic, similarities between the dictionaries and lists here. Both are mutable, both are dynamic. They can grow and shrink as needed. That means you can add the elements, you can delete the remove the items, anything. Both can be nested. A list can contain another list. Same thing, I have shown you basic examples, right? So a list can contain another list as well, and a dictionary also can contain another dictionary inside it. A dictionary can contain another dictionary as well. A dictionary can also contain a list and vice versa. Yeah, inside a list you can add the dictionaries, or inside a dictionary you can add the list as well. It's up to you. Do this as a homework, guys. Like add a list, and inside the list add a dictionary. Same thing, add a dictionary, and inside the dictionary add a list. Do this as a homework. Okay, so with this successfully you have completed 100 slides. That's great. Okay. Dictionaries differ from lists primarily in how elements are accessed. Yeah. In the list, we access the elements by using indexing. In dictionaries, we access the elements by using keys. Yeah. We are good for today. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me in today's class. Yeah, I'll stop the recording and then we can have our doubts session.